Living my best life, and I believe it's the best part of me. I'm living it up, choosing my best life. All I can see is the best I can be. I'm living it up.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am Dr. Helen, the host of Right Where You Are, the Accelerated Healing Detox Bootcamp. And we're talking about these ounces of preventions that we've been working on. So if you're interested in reishi mushrooms, I want to know a little bit about that. That's where you are and you're in the right place. So we are so excited to be able to present to you this information this morning because we're talking about an ounce of prevention. I am the host of the Accelerated Healing Detox Bootcamp, as well as the Faith Building the Faith Building Bootcamp, where we build faith one day at a time, and here where we build health one day at a time. We are so excited that we are now on day 35 and we have just been trudging along. 35. We have had some really exciting things happening. People's blood pressures are improving, their blood sugars are being better controlled, people are losing weight. It's just been a blessing. We are talking about these definite these definite and delicious additions that give us an ounce of prevention. So today we are actually talking about lucuma powder. Tomorrow is reishi powder, reishi mushrooms. Today we're talking about lucuma. So if you've ever heard of lucuma and you're like, what is lucuma? What is lucuma? Let's talk about lucuma today. So I'm not sure if this is your day one, or your day two, or maybe even your day 35. But if it's your day one, welcome. If it's your day two, welcome back. And if it's your day 35, look at you because you're still here. We're talking about an ounce of prevention. We're adding these ounces of things to our food for prevention, and we are going to just continue on. But before we do that, first, I'd like for you to share one of my favorite husband, John Stoddard. This song came about after we lost our first child. Check it out, just a little bit, 45 seconds. Here we go.
Her name was Anna, his name was Joe. Seemed like they'd been together forever, who knows? And all the friends and the family on their wedding day, there is hardly a dry eye.
That is a rainbow. And when I think about that song, it sometimes, it's kind of happy, and it's just my husband's really good at telling stories, and so he's telling the story about what happened after we lost our first one, and then the blessing that we ended up getting with our next one. So that is awesome, awesome. We're here day 35. day 35, and we're going to be continuing to accept your pictures. We're going to post them tomorrow. We're going to post those pictures tomorrow, so some of those delicious foods that you've been adding, I can't wait to see them. And we are still interested in seeing what you are doing and how creatively you are making your meals. Interval 4 is almost coming to an end, and there is an interval 5, and that interval 5 is coming. So you enjoy that. That interval 5 will be on your own. Make sure you continue to do your stepping squats and burning those thighs and those buttocks areas, so we can make sure we have some strong lower extremities and good balance, so that we can make sure we are still able to move as we float through this thing we call aging. Very good. We are interested in letting food be our medicine along with exercising. So we are going to continue to do that. Our disclaimer is that I am a board certified physician, and I have been practicing medicine for more than 28 years. I've been trained in both internal medicine and physical medicine and rehabilitation. And my fellowship training is in non-surgical orthopedics and sports medicine. And I did additional training in interventional pain, where I've been practicing pain interventions for the last 14 or so years. And I self-trained in lifestyle medicine, so that I have learned so many things about how important food is and what it does for your body, how it is so instrumental and important at keeping your health, where this food that we talk about is so powerful at lowering your blood sugar levels and your blood pressure levels and your cholesterol levels, decreasing the inflammation. I found that as I was treating people with these interventional procedures for their pain, that the ones who changed their lifestyle had less problems with their pain, and they required less interventions from me, which was absolutely fabulous because it made them do so much better. So this information that I give you is really not to replace the sound advice of your primary provider, but really just for educational purposes only, so that you can have a conversation. You can start a conversation with your primary provider. What about this? What about that? What about these things? And then that way you can have a good dialogue in case you need to change your medications, need to lower your medications, or discontinue them all, or even a little bit, some of them or all of them. So this is what we're doing here. We're talking about an ounce of prevention. An ounce of prevention. My mom always told me an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And so we're going to talk about today lucuma powder. We're going to talk about where it comes from. We're going to talk more about its nutrient profile and how to consume it, and just a couple of words of caution. So as we continue, we're going to look at this beautiful fruit called the lucuma. The lucuma comes from a tree. It's called a Puerto lucuma tree. It's like in the Andes. So it's the South American side of it. It's a round, kind of a round fruit, sometimes a little bit oblong. It's kind of yellow or brown, and it's sweet fruit. So it kind of has a taste of like a combination of like maple and maybe even butterscotch and sweet potato or pumpkin or caramel or maple or something, all kind of rolled up into this one fruit. It is coming in different forms like capsules and powders, and mostly purchased in health food stores, or you can actually purchase online. I have a picture of mine where I'm going to show you a picture. I'm going to show you my actual lucuma when we get to the end, but this is the form of it. I have it in a powder form, but it is a fruit, and that's just a whole lot of the fruits. You can see some of them may be a little bit more oblong, some of them are round, but all of them are greenish and yellowish and kind of brownish in color. Most often the skin is removed, the seeds are removed, and the flesh is what is consumed. But you can actually use it in a powder form to add into different food applications. And that just makes your food, it just kind of increases the value of your food. And so the nutrient profiles that there is no fat in it. It does have carbohydrates, and it actually can be used in so many different forms. It's got lots of fiber. It's got a little bit of protein in it, as well as all of these nutrients. And I'm not giving you all of them, but I'm putting on the ones that are most concentrated in there: the potassium and zinc, vitamin C, strong. This is building a strong immune system. Iron is in it, calcium and phosphorus for strong bones and things of that nature. It actually kind of almost looks like a mango a little bit. Not really a mango inside, but that nice fleshy color of a mango. Lucuma has lots of anti-inflammatory properties. It has lots of antioxidants in it. And I know you remember that word we talked about, carotenoids. I know you remember that. We talked about that being in the yellow orangish flesh, that's the antioxidant that we're getting out of those. And those antioxidants help to fight the free radicals. So it can help with many different maladies that our bodies are bombarded with on a daily basis. It is anti-inflammatory, as we said. It also improves your blood sugar levels. It can actually be used as an alternative to sugar, and you'll see that later as we continue to talk. And it also may promote heart health, support your weight loss, your gut health, eye health. Remember, we talked about the carotenoids in there. And it also may help reduce your cancer risk. So these are really important products of this lucuma fruit. When we talk about heart disease, it has these very high levels of polyphenols and carotenoids and all of these other antioxidants that have been actually found to protect against high blood pressure that will actually lead to heart disease. And so you got better blood flow going around the heart. In a test tube study, it was found that it actually prevents this thing called angiotensin 1 converting enzyme. And you may know that you might be taking a medication that ends in a pril, like captopril or lisinopril, or those are ACE inhibitors. Those are that ACE enzyme is what's responsible for your blood pressure and regulating your blood pressure. And so we inhibit or increasing your blood pressure. And so we give those captoprils and the lisinoprils and those enalaprils because it actually helps to inhibit that enzyme that causes your blood pressure to go up. And so we find that in the test tube studies, this was actually a component of the lucuma. And they also found that because of that, it can actually lower your blood pressure. These preliminary results are very promising, but we obviously need to do more research to find out how it actually affects the humans. Its range of antioxidants can actually reduce cancer risk, certain malignancies. It kind of helps fight that. It is a beta sitosterol that's actually in the lucuma, a component of the lucuma that is an anti-cancer component. And unlike the chemotherapy, it is non-toxic. Although, less powerful than chemo, it's still non-toxic and can kind of be something that we use to protect, as even if you're going through chemotherapy. Gallic acid in the lucuma actually works as an antioxidant to actually may prevent the cancer from going. And it also has pectin in it and tannins that are also inside of the fruit that have an anti-tumor effect. So we know that these tannins can dramatically inhibit the growth of tumors and like the proliferation and moving around in the body and getting bigger and causing havoc throughout the body. So we do know that it has those properties. It's especially high in xanthophylls, which is a group of carotenoids that's responsible for the yellow color that's in the food, and it can actually promote eye health and better vision, right? So those are things I always like, put all of these things together that will help with eye health. So the more antioxidants that you consume, the better your body will respond to that, and the less inflammation you will experience. We also know that it may lower your blood sugar levels. And so they found that inhibiting these blood sugar spikes can actually lower your risk of type 2 diabetes. And so really cool about the lucuma is that it has a soluble fiber in it that protects against diabetes by improving insulin sensitivity. That's one of the things that we're always working on, is to make sure that our cells are sensitive to the insulin that brings the sugar inside of our cells. And so that sensitivity will prevent the sugar spikes after your meals or snacks or anything like that. And it prevents the action of these different enzymes that want to increase your blood sugar and spike those blood sugar levels. We also know that it may lower your blood pressure, and lucuma actually protects against heart disease because of this polyphenol, these wonderful antioxidants that are in it, and protects against high blood pressure, as we said before, so that it can decrease your risk of heart disease. And we already talked about this, the function of it having this ACE inhibitor type of function in it to lower your blood pressures, which also decreases your risk of heart disease. Now, lucuma powder can actually be used as an alternative to sugar. And it's very interesting that you can actually sweeten things with lucuma powder. And it looks almost, like a 2-to-1 ratio. So you'll need to use more of it than you would to say like brown sugar, but it can actually sweeten foods. And so I got some really cool ideas to share with you towards the end where we talk about the foods. We're going to actually just have this thing sweetened with the regular lucuma fruit. The other thing that it can do is to help improve your skin health. Improving your skin health, it has vitamin C in it and the beta carotene, both of which help maintain skin health. And then the vitamin C is going to boost the collagen formation and protect the skin from UVB radiation, right? That UV light that can damage your skin. It's this beta carotene. It is a very, very powerful antioxidant, and it protects against the sun. It may promote regeneration of the skin as well, and has applications in medicine and skincare. And they're doing research in the Journal of Cosmetic Dermatology, where they're actually looking at this thing for healing the wound. They've also found healing wounds like surgical applications or using even before that. And what they found is that wound healing, because of its antimicrobial effect, its anti-inflammatory effect, its antioxidant effect, they all promote the beautiful cell proliferation so that your skin cells that are shed and beautiful new skin cells can show up after that, because this vitamin C is going to increase the synthesis of the collagen, the making of new collagen to give you structural integrity in your skin, and almost stimulating dermal reconstruction and repair of the skin's lipid barrier function, which is kind of what protects your skin from degradation. So wonderful things. It can also help improve gut health because it has not only the soluble fiber, but it has insoluble fiber. And this kind of insoluble fiber is what increases the bulk of your stool and helps to clear the waste from the system. Remember, where your body's job is to take the food that you're consuming and take the good things out of it and allow those vitamins and nutrients to be absorbed. And then the bad stuff comes out as waste in your stool and in your poop. And so that the lucuma powder actually helps to bulk up, or lucuma actually helps to bulk up the stool and get rid of those nasty toxins that we are experiencing. It is also the soluble fiber in the lucuma actually is beneficial for your gut bacteria, which will make what's called short chain fatty acids. And we look at these short chain fatty acids, we call them things like acetate and butyrate and propionate. These are things that actually are used as food by the cells to keep your gut healthy and to keep your gut healthy. And they protect also, these short chain fatty acids protect against inflammation and improve gut disorders like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, and even ulcerative colitis. Good stuff. Let's talk about lucuma as the powder. and using it as an alternative sweetener. You can put it in like cereals and yogurts, and a flavoring for it, to sweeten maybe your nut milks, or if you want to sweeten nut butters, you can actually use the lucuma powder in there to do that. I just take my almonds and put them in a blender, but adding a little lucuma powder will give it a little bit of sweetness too, but it'll also add more of the antioxidant effects of all the things that we've talked about, and all of the other effects on lowering blood sugar and things of that nature. So it just kind of ups the ante on the foods that you're consuming. You again, you want to do like a 2-to-1 ratio. So maybe if you were going to use a cup of well, if you're going to use a half a cup of brown sugar, you want to use a full cup of lucuma powder if you want to use it as a sweetener in your recipes. And that is wonderful to use in things like when you're making your smoothies. You know that it's already going to sweeten. That fruit will tend to be a little sweeter. So we, in our smoothies that we made, we didn't add any sugar to it. But look at how gorgeous, how beautiful this smoothie looks. You can add these, you can use this in your, this is the fresh fruit. If you can get the fresh fruit, yours will look like this. Obviously, the powder doesn't look the same way because you don't get the depth of the fruit in it, but it does add that nutritional value into it. It makes a really beautiful smoothie, and I can mix it with even mango to make sure I have like the beautiful color of it. And you can actually make it into teas as well. And that ends up being a really good, fun thing to do. You can put it in desserts. It can use, because it is used as a substitute for sugar. You can actually make desserts out of it, whether it be pies or cakes and even other baked goods. And if you compare it to granulated sugar, it is it is very tasty, and it's similar kind of to the taste of a brown sugar. And you can use it and make some really great different kinds of desserts. And you can imagine just putting this in like your raw meals, like doing our raw time and putting this in. This is a raw pie that you can actually use it in. So that would be good. Ice cream is also a wonderful thing to be able to make out of the lucuma, and you might be able to get some lucuma in the frozen section in some of the ethnic stores, so that you can actually use it in those applications and get some really beautiful ice cream. And if you don't, maybe you can, when you go over to those different parts of the world, you might be able to try it. And even, you can also mix it in with, like we said, you can use it in your yogurt, or mixing it over your yogurt, and any kind of application that you want to just increase the nutritional value of the food. And I know we have talked about so many different powders. This is not meant to go out and buy every powder that you see, but these are powders that if you want to use more, that you can say, oh, you know what, that one will help with my thyroid. I think I'll use that one. I have problems with my blood sugar. I know that pretty much most of them that we've talked about are going to help with lowering your blood sugar and lowering your blood pressure. So you have your pick on those. But you might say, well, maca powder will also kind of help with my adrenal gland. So I'm going to do the maca powder, or I'm going to do my ashwagandha. I know the ashwagandha might be a little bit bitter, but I know that it really is powerful at helping with calming down my adrenal gland. So I'm going to use that, but I'm going to also use my maca powder because I like that it tastes like a little butterscotchy, and that it looks good. It tastes good with my almond butters, and it tastes good with my milks and things of that nature. So you can kind of pick and choose which ones you want to use. So this is not meant to do like me and like have like every powder in the world in my pantry. I just like investigating and using different things because I like to put foods in different applications. So just a word of caution on the lucuma powder: the toxicity is low and research is limited. Most of the research is kind of limited to animal studies and test tube studies, but these are really, really promising results that we can apply even prematurely, because we know it's not going to hurt us. It's nothing wrong with eating fruits and vegetables, right? So we know that the results are promising, and as if anybody decides that they want to do more research on them, we'll wait for that research to come. But we don't have to wait for the research to know that these things work. Okay, so I do recommend using these these foods as medicine that you can just add to them. So we've talked about lucuma powder today, where it comes from, the nutrient profile. We've also talked about the health benefits, the forms that it comes in, how to consume it, and just a couple of words of caution. And it does look amazing. The ice cream looks amazing. I'm going to show you what my lucuma powder looks like. And as you decide that you put your questions in the chat, I'll just show you a picture of my lucuma powder. This is mine. I got this one from, I don't know where I got it from. I may have gotten it from Whole Foods or something like that, but this is what it looks like. That's how it's spelled. And remember, we talked about this, right? We talked about it being non-GMO. We talked about things being organic, and we talked about them just being made with the best practices. And so this one's not only organic, it's non-GMO, it's raw, it's gluten-free, it's kosher, and it's vegan. So lots of good stuff in there. And I made, what did I put it in last night? I put it in, oh, remember I talked to you about that company called Seven Sundays? They have a cereal that's similar to Cheerios cereal. And so I decided to try it. It had a big bag at Costco. So I saw it in there. And so whenever I see something, I like to try it so that I can let you know if you would like it or not. If you like Cheerios, you'll like this better. It has it's made with oats. There's no glyphosate, right? It's no gluten in it, and it kind of stands up to the milk. I made my almond milk by just putting some almonds in the container, and then I strained it. I put almonds in the container. I put some water in it. I put a cup of, I'm going to tell you the recipe right now. I put a cup of almonds. I put in 4 cups of water, a tablespoon of maple syrup, a teaspoon of vanilla, and a pinch of salt in there. Ground it up in my high-speed blender. And then I took a cheesecloth, well, not a cheesecloth. I took like a really tightly woven, I have a milk bag, but I find that I have a tightly woven cloth that actually strains it even better than my milk bag does. And I saved the pulp from that. And then I took the pulp and dried it out in my dehydrator. I made flour out of it, and I used the milk and put it on my cereal. And I added a little bit of lucuma powder in my cereal and ate it that way. And it just added, it was, I gotta say that if I did it again, I would put it in the milk and grind it in the milk, because there you can taste the powder. I didn't mix it in well. So I would do it that way again. I would mix it in with my milk and then pour it over there to increase the nutritional value of the cereal. But I thought that cereal was actually pretty good. So pretty nice to not have, not to have to worry about any glyphosate in it, and to know that there's no gluten in it. Perfect. All right, now for your questions. Let's see. The first question is, how many servings of fruit per day? 4 to 6 servings of fruit per day. I like to, there is a raw foodist online, and her name is Christina, and Christina eats just all fruits and vegetables. She doesn't eat anything else. She eats just a cornucopia of fruits and vegetables a day. The minimum that we are doing is 4 to 6 servings, or 5 to 7 servings, or however you want to say it. I just make sure that I'm just eating a lot of fruits and vegetables all day long. And that is the most important thing, because what I'm trying to do is not, and for you, I'm not trying to tell you to cut out what if you're a standard American diet. I'm not trying to tell you to cut your standard American diet, but I'm asking you to add in more fruits and vegetables, and just keep adding the fruits and vegetables. Eat them at every meal. Eat 3 at a meal. That's going to only enhance your health. Sometimes I'll just have a plate and it's only got greens, and it might have broccoli, and it might have some non-GMO corn, and it'll have, like, you know what I mean? Like, just eat a plate of fruits and then a nice salad. And I just eat that. And, especially when I want to make sure that my digestion is on point. And so I'll just eat the fruits and vegetables. So I don't try to count it, although there are, my plate has certain recommendations, and, they 5 to 7 servings or whatever. I just add as much as I possibly can on a daily basis. And doesn't the Nama make nut milk? You know what? That's a good question. I'm not sure. I have my Nama, and I've only made juice out of it, but I'm going to try to investigate that and see, because if it does, it would really dry out the pulp really well. You can also use the pulp to make little raw desserts. You can use that pulp to make raw desserts. I actually used it to make a cake, and in the past, I'll say, because I didn't make it yesterday, but I used the almond powder, the almond flour, and made a cake. And I'm going to show you a picture of that. I forgot to post yesterday in the Facebook group, but I'm going to do it today. I didn't forget what I was posting, but I'm going to post that recipe for the blackberry salad dressing, and I'm going to post the recipe for my almond cake. It was an apple cake, really, really very, very tasty. So I'm going to post that in there, but I'm going to try that nama to see if I can make milk. I'll read the instructions and see if it tells me that I can make milk out of it. If you know that it is the case, then just say yes, you know it, and I will definitely try it. Yes. Oh, well, there you go. Here it is. They make a delicious nut milk, and it's a video to watch. We can watch that as it makes a nut milk with the Nama juicer. I'm going to watch that myself. I would love to do that. You see why I love her. But you can. We're going to try to make some more milk, and that would save a step. I think it would save a step of straining it, which is really, really pretty fabulous. That because I like eating fruit throughout the day. Yes, absolutely. What was your answer to egg replacement? Egg replacement, lots of things for egg replacement. And we said that we were going to do a special session on egg replacement. Tomorrow, we actually do reishi mushrooms, and then we do camu camu. So in 3 days, we're doing the egg replacers. So please stick around. I have that one for you after we do the ones that I've already worked on. Camu camu, and then we're doing the egg replacer. All righty. So those are great questions that we have. Those great questions. I don't see any more questions. And I see you, Billy. You said everybody's ahead of you. Don't worry about that. Everybody's not ahead of you. You are at your own pace. And so you just continue to work at your own pace. You might want to go back and check out all the videos that have been done before, but don't think that you're behind. You are never behind because you're still breathing. So you can always get there. All right. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been an absolutely fabulous time for me as we discovered some new things, some lucuma powder, a new thing that many people may have never heard of, or you're just learning about. Really great properties for it. So I'm so glad that you are here with us today. We're going to meet again for our Faith Building Bootcamp at 6 a.m. every morning at 6 a.m. Central Time. We're going to meet again tomorrow at 8 a.m. for our Accelerated Healing Detox Bootcamp. Our book, the Reverse It, trying to remember the name of my book. The Reverse It book is available on Amazon, and it is how to reverse type 2 diabetes and other chronic illnesses, as well as the guide. The success journal is also available on YouTube as well. And then our powerful immune booster, the Power Pack, is available at p2whealth.com. If you want to contact me, we have our contact information that we can post in the chat, or we can post it on the screen, or it will be in our Facebook group on contact information. I hope you were able to get through and take good notes. You were able to take good notes. And if you didn't, if you missed something, make sure you go back and look at the videos and make sure to check your notes and make sure that what you wrote is what we said. And then make sure that you check my information too. You can do your own research and make sure you're getting everything that you need out of the foods that you're consuming. When you go back, excuse me, and look at those videos, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure your notifications are on so that look at that. So that every time a video goes up, then you will be notified for it. I'm so glad that you are here today, because you apparently know, like I know, that health is one of the new currencies, and you are spending yours wisely. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.